Hey guys, what's going on? ZeroArmada here with a Blacklight tutorial video. We're going to be going over the Blacklight community editor. Going to go over some basic, simple things that you can do in the editor. Can give you a general overview of how to be kind of competent and how to do some day-to-day things and functions, and kind of make like a basic map if you want. So first things first, let's go into Steam. Go into your tool section. So go to library, go to tools. You should see an entry for Blacklight Retribution Community Editor. You want to right click on that, click install. Currently the editor is only for PC. PS4 players, you can definitely download and use the editor on the PC, but there's not going to be really any plans to actually port this over to the PS4. Definitely though, you can make your maps and you can submit them to be on the PS4, so that's still an option, so keep that in mind. But once the editor is downloaded and once you're good to go, it's about 15 gigs, so it'll take you a little time depending on how slow or how fast your internet connection is. Once that's downloaded, let's actually go to where the editor was installed. So for me, that was in Program Files, Steam Games, Steam Apps Common, Blacklight Community Editor. So in there should be a Fox game and a documentation folder. So in here, they actually, HSL provided us with some PDF documentation on the editor. So you can actually open that up. It'll go through some basic things. They actually link you to some 3D UDK tutorials, kind of giving you some basic information on how to do some functions and some proficient and advanced functions in the UDK editor. Definitely recommend you guys take a look at that. It really helped me out a lot. This video will kind of go over some basic things to do in the UDK, but for more advanced stuff, I definitely defer you guys to 3D Buzz tutorial videos. So this PDF guide kind of goes through some basic stuff for actually adding PLR specific maps, like adding custom spawns for custom game modes, adding custom items like depots, adding the hackable doors, depots, or not depots, but the DOM points, and so on and so forth. So they go over some of that stuff. They go over some basic map making stuff, like creating a basic map, light box or lights and white boxing, so on and so forth. So I definitely recommend you guys take a look at this, adding spawns as well. So I won't really kind of go over this much or this in great detail because it's already documented for you. But once you have the editor, once you have it installed, you can actually open it up. It'll take about 3 to 5 minutes to actually load it initially. It takes a while, depending on how fast or how slow your computer is. But let's go back to let's go File, Open. Let's go back to the Blacklight Community Editor folder. And then go back to Fox Game, Content, Maps, and then there's a competitive and an E3 folder. HSL has provided us with maps for you guys to take a look at and to kind of modify and use as you see fit. So in the competitive folder, we have maps in there, and then as well in the E3, we have some maps to kind of look at. I already have Vortex open right here. So for basic navigation, it's WASD, and then to unlock your camera, it would be the right mouse button. So WASD to kind of move forward, backward, left, and right, and then your mouse with the right click button held, you can actually go and actually do like a free camera look on the map. So that's pretty useful. Other things you can do, there's different rendering modes. So you have an unlit option, you have lit, which kind of gives you a visual representation of how the map looks in game. You have detailed lighting, which kind of shows you what objects are emitting light and how they're emitting light. And then you have lighting only. You also have wireframe options. These are good for when you actually provide or add in custom 3D volumes, and when you want to make some pinpoint movements, you can actually kind of see exactly the bounds of custom 3D objects and kind of do like some precise movements on those. So this is pretty helpful as well. It's kind of busy sometimes too, so I try to avoid it if I can. But let's go back to like a lit or an unlit option or setting. So you can basically just click on any object in the map. Make sure you have translation mode enabled, and you can actually move it left to right, up and down, and so on and so forth, X, Y, and Z axis. So you can do that. You can rotate it with rotation mode, as well as you can scale it. So you have uniform scaling, which scales all axes, and then you have non-uniform scaling, which will basically scale a specific axis only. Also keep in mind that you can also define locks on how much you move, rotate, and scale by. So for instance, if I only want to move with every movement 128 pixels, at the bottom right there's an option to do that. So click on that, and every time I move it, that's 128 pixels, that's 128 pixels. So you can basically lock your movement. Likewise, you can lock your rotation to every 6 degrees. You can click on the drop downs over here to customize it if you want to. So say I want to move every 45 degrees or rotate every 45 degrees, I can do that. Or I can just do as much as I want. Then likewise for scaling, if I want to scale every 5 degrees, or 5%, sorry, you can do that. Also keep in mind at the bottom right there's also kind of a listing of what each axis is scaled to, so you can pretty easily define your own scalings, or you can reset it to 1 if you want, pretty easily. So that's that. Other things to keep in mind, gone over that. If you want to play test, you can basically either run the play option here, or you can right click anywhere on the map and click play from here. And then you can actually play your map. It's not going to be full screen, but you can do Windows key X. That'll open up like your Windows desktop menu and it'll allow you to actually maximize the window. So you can do that. If you want to add custom 3D volumes, there's what's called like the brush volume, or like the stamp volume. Right here, it's basically outlined in red on the map. It's a volume that doesn't actually show up on the map, but it's kind of like a stamp. So you use it to actually stamp 3D volumes onto your map. So let's just say, for instance, you know, I really don't want anyone to go past this area. So I don't want anyone to actually go out here. You can define a blocking volume. And the way to do that is you actually go to the volume section right here. You get your stamp volume, put it where you want, go to add volume, and you want to add a blocking volume. And then there you go right there. You can actually move and orient it however you want. You can rotate it if you want, scale it, do whatever you want to it. Then if I actually go play the map now, I can't run past this area. So that's pretty simple, that's pretty cool. If you want to actually add custom 3D volumes, you can you have an assortment of brushes here, so you can do like a cube, cone, stairs, cylinders, a flat sheet if you want, a sphere. So let's add a sphere to the map. So we click on the sphere option. You can also right click on the actual brush itself for more properties. Like for instance, if you want a brush, let's click on the brush. We want to actually have it be a little taller. So a little wider and then a little taller. And then we can actually just stamp it on by adding it. You can also do subtraction. So if you have a brush that added a volume to the map, you can actually subtract from the volume. So let's just say, for instance, here's our cone. We can actually cut out this volume from this volume by doing a subtract. So we can actually, let's go up a little bit more, do another subtract. So you can actually remove part of the volume if you want with brushes, which is pretty powerful. You can also remove the brush by just simply going to the wireframe render mode, clicking on the brush volume, and deleting it. So let's just say like we want to undo what we actually did with the subtraction. Here's the subtraction volume. You can delete that. It's still going to show it's subtracted until we actually go into the build geometry for current level option. And as you can see, the subtraction was removed. Likewise, you can actually go and remove the volume itself. Build, geometry, that volume is now gone. Let's say we want to actually add a texture to this volume. If we go to the view browser windows, content browser, Here's the content browser. This is basically where you have all of your Blacklight specific assets available to you. So usually all the actual world objects and world props are in the environment folder. The types you want to be kind of familiar with are the static meshes and then the material instances. Static meshes are basically pre-made 3D objects with textures already applied to them. So HSL has done all the work for you. You can pretty much just drag and drop any of these into the map and they'll look pretty good. If you have like a custom 3D volume, you want to add a texture to it, or if you have like a graffiti decal or any decals, you have to go to the material instances is where all that stuff's at. So let's look for like a concrete texture. And then we can actually just apply it. Just click on it, drag it, apply it. It's pretty simple. So we do that. You can kind of tell like the scaling is a little weird on it. Kind of looks like a Minecraft block or something like that. So what you can actually do is you can right click on the specific face you want to modify. Click on surface properties and you can actually modify the scaling. Or you should be able to. Oh, wrong button. Duh. So that looks a little better. Let's also add a face right here. Properties. Let me find a better texture so I can kind of show you something too. Yeah, this looks better. Okay. Let's do this. Apply. Okay. So you have like your 3D object now fully textured or whatever. As you can see though, there's kind of like, there's kind of an issue. So let's just say for instance, like your texture or your block looks like this. As you can see, like the seams and the textures don't actually match up. So you have an option of actually panning or modifying the location of the texture relative to the block. So you can do that with these pan options. So if you want to pan up, you would do the V axis, and you would go, if you click it, it'll go down. If you shift click it, it'll go back up. So we can actually pan it so that the seams match up. Likewise, you can also rotate the textures too with the rotation option. So that's also available. So that's that. If you want to add lighting to the map, so say you have like an object and you want to add lighting to it. So let's actually go and actually add like a prop to the map. So let's go to View, Browser Windows, Content Browser. Let's type in light. The folders themselves are also pretty well organized. So we actually do have a light section here. And then you want to click on the static mesh filter. And then clear out any other filters you have on. So we have a bunch of lights here we can choose from and just drag and drop them into the map. Let's add this mobile lighting unit. And very similar to what I was talking about earlier, you can orient it any way you want. You can rotate it if you want. You can make it hella big if we want. So now let's add like a light to that. If you right click anywhere on the map and click on Add Actor, you want to add a point light. And very similar, you can rotate, orient it, scale it however you want. So let's put it right in front of this. You can right click on it and click on point light properties, modify the radius of the light, or modify the brightness and the light color itself. Keep in mind, very similar to how we do geometry, you have to actually build the lighting before you actually will see the changes in the map. So you just go to build lighting. They recommend for like best practice on map making, you want to have like a light binding volume. And basically what this does is when you actually build your lighting, it'll only have the light building logic done inside of those volumes. And that basically makes it so it's more performant. It takes faster time to actually build lighting on the map. So there's that. If you want to add like a depot, for instance, you want to go back to the browser windows, content browser. So depot, that's a custom object with additional logic attached to, or custom object with additional logic attached to it. It's a prefab, so you want to actually go into all types, go to prefabs, and there should be a depot prefab in here somewhere. There's also elevators too, so if you want to add an elevator, please don't add an elevator to your map, but if you do want to add one, click that, drag and drop, it's there. Pretty simple. So for depots, it should be somewhere down here. Okay, you know what? Worst case, if you can't find it, and there's already one on the map, you can right-click on it, find in content browser, and it should find it. Do we not have it? That's kind of weird. Okay. Need to figure that out then. Let's try another object just so we can make sure I'm not hallucinating. Okay. So that one looked like, yeah, that one looked like it worked. Maybe it's in there. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about it, but there should be a depot in here somewhere that you can use. One more time, really quick. Now it's bugging me. I'm probably just blind. Also, if like objects don't fully load, you like see it's actually in the inventory, but you don't see like a thumbnail, you can right click and fully load. And I think for some of these, like, they're not actually fully, like, it looks like they're not actually in the game. Oh, there it is right there. Found it. So there's your depot. Let's go to some other place where something's not loaded. There. So yeah, some of them, like, if they don't have thumbnails, you can fully load them and the thumbnails will appear. So there's that. Talked about lighting. Also on the maps you have a dominant light, and you also have, usually sometimes you will have like a fog map attached to the map as well. So I think all maps require a directional dominant light, which is basically like what the whole map takes in as lighting, or what the personality of the map is in terms of lighting. And then the fog, if you want to add fog, that's basically what it is. So if you want to go to view, browser windows, actor classes, there's an exponential height fog object. You can drag and drop that in. Change the properties on that. Let's do like orange, I guess. And then let's make it really foggy. So we'll do like 1. And you can see like it's like a dust storm now. So if you want to add fog, that's how you do that. Then we can just play from here. I don't recommend you put this much fog on your map, but it's available for you if you want. So there's that. If you want to add dominant light, add actor, all templates. There should be a dominant directional light here somewhere, or it actually might be in let's go to the actor classes. Dominant directional light. So there's already one in the level. You can only have one. But that's how you would add one if you don't have one. And kind of what I recommend too is, like, if you're just starting out, I'd recommend like you just take a map, like take like Deadlock or take whatever, like strip down all the objects, and like start from that as a base. And then you can also, if you want, you can just take like a Deadlock or whatever, or take Vertigo and just heavily modify it to kind of suit your needs. Like, you know, make the map outside of the actual map area of Vertigo, but you can like take and pull in assets from that or whatever. So there's like a lot of options, and there's a lot of things you can do with making maps. It's pretty powerful, but that's kind of like the basic fundamentals for making maps. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll do my best to help you guys out. Definitely check out the tutorial videos listed in the PDF guide. I think those are really essential for actually getting started with making maps. And thanks for watching as always, guys. Hopefully this was helpful for you. And until next time.